So you're not going to Island? Achiko asked as she and Izuku had some tea. Unfortunately not this year. Izuku sighed. Going by plane is too dangerous, and a boat is too slow. I have too much work to do here with settling the new business and negotiations with other countries, on top of my job as a parent. So we're going to send Chol to talk with them. I guess that makes sense, Achiko said, feeling a bit sad that Izuku wouldn't be joining them. Well, I'm free for a while, so I thought I'd hang out and help if that's okay with you. Of course. You're always welcome here, Achiko. Izuku said with a smile. Hey, Sansan actually made something really cool in a cave she found. It's kinda like a big art piece, we just opened it up, wanna see it? I'd love to, Achiko responded. Come on, Ken chanted, as he and Netsu faced off against Izuku and Achiko at Super Smash Bros. Izuku and Achiko were playing as Link and Kirby, against Ken's Shulk and Netsu's Mario. Kirby smashed apart the Smash Ball, and Achiko looked at Izuku, then nodded. And Izuku nodded in return. Shulk came rushing at Link while Mario threw fireballs at them. Link dashed through Shulk as he threw out a dash attack, and then smash attacked Shulk towards Kirby, who grabbed him. Then Link jumped over the fireball, rushed towards Mario, grabbed him, and threw him toward Kirby. Kirby released Shulk, and in that next moment, they activated their final smash, hitting both Shulk and Mario. Game! Aw man! Ken groaned. Wow, that was some awesome teamwork. Netsu praised, not letting his loss get him down. Heck yeah! Achiko celebrated as she and Izuku high-fived in celebration. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX A skyscraper made of popsicle sticks. It looks great. Well worth eating all those popsicles. Ochako praised. I just hope we didn't have too much sugar. Izuku thought as he rubbed his stomach. He could feel his blood sugar rising. Can we put it in the kitchen so everyone can see it? Shiroku asked with pleading eyes. Of course. You worked so hard on it, after all, right Izuku? Ochako asked him. Of course. It'll be the centerpiece. Izuku said with a smile. Thanks, Mom, Dad. Shiroku said with a big smile on her face, as she ran out of the room to go put up her tower. Izuku sighed as his face turned a bit red. She's still on that. You think it's maybe because she wants a mom? Ochako was also blushing, but she put aside her embarrassment for a moment, genuinely concerned about the situation. I think it's more just because she likes romance, Izuku reassured her, before frowning as he gave that some more thought. Although, that might not be the case for all of the, but I don't really have time to be looking around for dates. And even if I don't think I have the nerve to try. Really? You can face down villains and break the law, but dates are what scares you? Ochako giggled. When it comes to combat and strategies, they just come easy to me, Izuku admitted sheepishly. Dealing with girls. To be honest, aside from Mom and the kids, you were the first girl I ever really talked to. Well, all those other girls were dumb, because you're a great guy. Ochako felt a bit of pride in that statement for whatever reason, as well as embarrassment. Thanks, I try my best. Izuku said with a blush. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX standing opposed to each other in the woods. And by Izuku's side, was Sheena. I'm pretty sure I already know the answer. But I want to see how I would be Quark would match up against the best of the best. Izuku said with a smile. I only have 2 requests. Don't hold back. And don't try to wait for Sheena's effect to wear off. I want this to be a battle of quirks. Alright then. Ochako activated full cowling 45%. Let's go. Izuku, Sheena, if you please. Izuku asked kindly as he took off his cloak. Got it, Mr. Midoriya. Sheena quickly turned her hand into a scythe and nicked his hand a few times. Izuku felt the presence of his normally non-existent quirk and smiled. Alright. Ochako. Boom. Immediately, Izuku burst at Ochako, as he repelled himself off the air behind him, and landed a solid kick on Ochako's face, sending her flying through a tree. He's faster than I thought. Ochako thought as she flipped herself, and landed sideways on a tree. But when she looked up where Izuku should have been, he was gone. Slam! Suddenly Izuku dove down from above and slammed Ochako into the ground with both feet. Boom! Before Ochako could counterattack, Izuku Max repelled himself off Ochako, causing him to explode up, and Ochako to get smacked deeper into the ground, creating a decent-sized crater. And he hits harder too. Ochako jumped up and got on her feet. Still, I think I'm faster and stronger. But Izuku's definitely smarter than me. That's gonna be trouble. Whoosh! Ochako heard the sound of something moving behind her, and she immediately turned around and put up her arms to guard, just in time as Izuku landed a powerful kick. A moment later Izuku repelled away, blasting himself away from Ochako and knocking her back a few feet. Before Izuku could get too far, Ochako rushed after him and started gaining on him quickly. As Ochako was getting close, Izuku repelled himself away from Ochako, not only pushing Ochako back, but pushing him forward even faster. I can't get close. Ochako fought against repel with all her might, but she wasn't getting any closer to Izuku. Wait. Ochako then ran to the left, quickly getting out of repel's range of effect, before circling around to where Izuku was, and getting in front of him. Izuku's eyes went wide, but he quickly responded by shooting upward, into the air, soaring high above the trees. But that wouldn't be the case for long, as Ochako started picking up trees and throwing them at Izuku at rapid-fire speed. Izuku repelled all the trees that had been coming towards him, as other trees flew upwards around him. Unfortunately for him, Ochako was hiding in one of those trees she threw, and once she snuck up above him, she rocketed down at him. Slam! Ochako kicked Izuku in the back, and slammed him down into the ground, causing an explosion of dirt to rise up. Ow! Izuku groaned once the dirt cloud dispersed, as he lay face down on the ground in a small crater. You okay, Izuku? Ochako asked, concerned she may have hit him too hard. She did lower her power when she actually hit him down to 20%, but that still might have been too much. Yeah, I don't think I should be moving, but otherwise, I think I'll be fine. Izuku groaned. Could you help me get to the infirmary? Hello, my loyal minions. Welcome back, and today we have a special guest. My good friend, and potential mother, Ochako Uraraka, Kiba introduced. Oh, will you cut that out? Ochako pouted. Are you really that against going out with caretaker? Kiba asked with a saddened look. Huh? Well, I mean I'm not against it for SE. But you know I doubt he sees me that way, and we're both so busy. Can we change topic? Ochako shouted. Sure, I already got all of that on camera, Kiba said mischievously. Have to thank Yonda for that idea. Ugh, that girl is going to be the end of me, Ochako shouted. Your cooking's gotten even better, Fuku. Ochako said with a glowing smile, as she ate some of Fuku's cake along with Kiba, Kei, Eri, Kyoku, and Fuku herself. Sato's gonna have some competition in the future. I wouldn't go that far. Sato-sensei's cakes are still way better than mine, Fuku said. Tour, but can Sato use a bow and arrow, draw, and write stories? Kiba asked. Not to mention he's nowhere near as cute as you. Is it head pat time? Kei smiled. Hey, Kyoka, how's your studying with Izuku doing? Fuku asked, changing the subject as quickly as possible. It's hard, Kyoka sighed. And boring. There's so much to understand and it's all so boring. But I still want to help Daddy, so I have to keep going. No matter what. Ochako giggled and rubbed Kyoka's head. What a good girl you are. Izuku's lucky to have a daughter like you. Although I can say the same for all of you. Thanks, Mom, Kyoka said with a smile. Ochako sighed. If you guys really want to call me Mom, then fine. Just don't do it while Izuku's here. It'll make it weird. A step is a step, Kiba thought. Ochako decided to spend the night over at Izuku's place for once. It's not like there was a lack of rooms, and she didn't really have any reason not to. That, and there was something she really wanted to see that she normally wouldn't be able to see in the city. As Ochako was making her way to her destination, she heard something. Sniff sniff. It was sniffling. The kind that sounded like someone was crying. She stopped and looked at the door, from which she heard the crying from. It was Nisa's room. Knock knock knock. Hey niece, everything good in there? Ochako asked, making sure she was loud enough that Niece could hear her, but quiet enough to not wake everyone up. Ms. Uraraka? Niece asked, sounding a bit shaken. I am okay. I just had a bad dream. Bad dream, huh? I guess you don't feel like going back to sleep? Ochako asked, knowing how this worked from her own experience. Not really, Ni said. I was gonna go watch some anime until I forgot about it. You could do that. Or we can try something else, Achiko suggested. I know a place where we can see something pretty cool. Where? Nis asked curiously. Achiko smiled. Put on a jacket, and I'll show you. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX and Nice snuggled up in Ochiko's arms. Alright, time to go. Ochiko then touched Nice, and then herself, but jumping up, and going high, high up in the air. They went higher and higher and higher until they burst through the clouds. Ochiko flicked the air to keep them from going higher and took in the sight around them. Below was a beautiful sea of clouds, and above was the wondrous night sky, with the crescent moon shining brightly among the thousands of stars. Wow wow! Nice gasped as she looked at the absolute beauty all around her. Cool huh? I haven't done this since I was little, Ochiko said. This was the first thing she did when she found out about her quirk. And unfortunately, it was almost her last, which is why she hadn't done it since. But whenever I had a nightmare, I'd go out and look at the stars. They're wonderful, Nice said. Hey, you wanna hear something cool? Ochiko asked. In Greek myth, it said that the gods would immortalize people in the stars, turning them into constellations. Isn't that awesome? I've always dreamed of having my own constellation as a kid. I hoped one day people would look up at the sky and say, look, there's Uravity. You think Kiba's gonna have a constellation? Nice asked. Ochiko chuckled. Oh yeah, definitely. XXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXXX and tucked her in. Ms. Ochako. I still don't really want to fall asleep yet. Nis admitted, feeling a bit embarrassed. That's okay. I understand. Ochako said with an understanding smile, as she sat by Nis's bed. How about I tell you a story? Okay, Nis said.